Hello, everybody. Bonjour tout le monde. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great summer. I'm here as your foreign minister in the context of this cabinet retreat to talk about different issues that are important to Canadians, including, of course, what is happening in the world. We know that a lot of the geopolitical instability is causing a lot of anxiety with Canadians. And also we know that affordability issues are linked to the fact that there are so many supply chains that have been disrupted because there are so many geopolitical tensions. And we saw it again today with what happened in Kyiv and across Ukraine. And of course we condemn these attacks by Russia. And at the same time, we saw it yesterday with the Hezbollah attack on Israel, and Israel standing to protect its own security. So my goal is to make sure ultimately that Canada is there to work on different solutions, at being able also to find solutions that are linked to bringing back more stability, while of course at all times defending Canada's interests. Donc je vais juste dire ça en français, puis après je vais prendre vos questions. On sait qu'il y a beaucoup de tensions géopolitiques à travers le monde, ça crée beaucoup d'anxiété chez les gens. Et aussi, c'est lié aux enjeux liés à l'abordabilité. On sait que les choses coûtent plus cher parce qu'il y a eu une disruption des chaînes d'approvisionnement. Puis en même temps, on sait que les différentes tensions géopolitiques créent affectent directement la sécurité, le sentiment de sécurité des Canadiens qui sont préoccupés par ce qui se passe dans le monde. On l'a vu encore aujourd'hui avec ce qui s'est passé à Kiev et un peu partout en Ukraine. D'ailleurs, on condamne les attaques de la Russie contre l'Ukraine. Et en même temps, on l'a vu hier avec ce qui s'est passé en Israël et avec, dans le fond, les échanges de tirs avec le Hezbollah, qui est une entité terroriste. Mon boulot comme ministre des Affaires étrangères est certainement de bien positionner le Canada pour trouver des solutions, pour calmer les tensions géopolitiques, mais encore et toujours défendre les intérêts des Canadiens. Alors, ça va me faire plaisir de répondre à vos questions. Please go ahead, Ashley. It's been a long time. Good to see you.
Ashley Burke, CBC News. Minister, how concerned are you about the situation in the Middle East escalating to a full-out war, and what is Canada doing about it?
Yeah, so listen, I was just on the phone with the Jordanian foreign minister. I've had many conversations with different U.S. officials, of course with Jake Sullivan again yesterday night on this issue, and I've been in contact with my Egyptian colleague. So, of course, we are working every day to support parties to get to a ceasefire. This is my #1 priority, a ceasefire and the release of all hostages. And at the same time, we call on parties to make sure that there's no escalation, because obviously we need to bring back peace to the Middle East. It's in Israel's long-term security interest to do so, and it is, of course, in the interest of all the peoples living in that region. And that's what we're doing. I'm doing many phone calls, many meetings, and I've been doing a lot of shuttle diplomacy, as you know.
The military earlier this summer confirmed that they
Sorry, I can't hear you well. Can you?
The military earlier this summer said that they were working on a contingency plan in case they need to evacuate thousands of Canadians that get stuck in Lebanon. Where is that at right now? Are you moving forward with evacuation plans at this point?
So, as we speak, of course, the travel advice for Lebanon is the same. So, if you're in Canada, please don't go to Lebanon. If you're Canadian living in Lebanon, please come back. And so we saw it, tensions continue to rise, and we saw it even yesterday with what happened between Israel and Hezbollah. So we will continue to update our travel advice as things continue to unfold, but at the same time, my advice to Canadians have been the same for now many months. And I would say also that, of course, Canada works with many countries in the region, and of course, we always abide by our duty of care. At the same time, we need to make sure that Canadians don't put their lives at risk or the lives of their loved ones. Thank you.
Mia Rabson from the Canadian Press.
Hi, Mia.
I'm just curious what conversations you have had, or if you plan to have conversations with China about retaliation related to the EV tariffs that were announced today. Did you talk to them ahead of time, and are you concerned, or do you have any idea what China is planning to do in response?
Okay, well, you know, you've heard me just beforehand. As Foreign Minister, my job is always to defend Canada's interests. And it is in Canada's interest to impose tariffs on Chinese EVs. And that's why we did it. At the same time, I think it's important that we engage pragmatically with China. That's also why I went to China this summer, to make sure that we could address these issues. And I indeed raised the issue of the EV tariffs consultation at the time, and also, of course, we've also this morning advised China that we would be doing so. So the fact that we are engaging with China diplomatically doesn't mean that we can't continue to defend our interests, and that's exactly what we will continue to do, and you'll see more of that in the coming weeks.
I'm also wondering if you could comment on the developments in the United States this summer, particularly with the Democratic Party switching leaders, signs of momentum, growth. Do you think that the Liberal Party here has any lessons to take from them?
Mia, when it comes to the U.S., of course, I always have the same line, and it will always be that we will engage, notwithstanding who is elected in the White House. We've gone through an Obama administration, we've worked with the Trump administration, and we have worked with the Biden administration, and we will be ready when it comes to November. And for the rest, we are now working at a cabinet retreat here to make sure that we're concentrating, focusing on what Canadians need. And for the rest, the Prime Minister has my full support. Thank you, Mia.
Bonjour, Madame Joly.
Allô, comment ça va?
Radio-Canada. Très bien, merci. Pour revenir sur le Liban,
Oui.
il y a quelques semaines, il y avait eu un certain déploiement à Chypre, une trentaine de militaires. J'aimerais savoir, est-ce qu'à ce point-ci, ce déploiement-là a changé? Est-ce qu'on envoie plus ou moins de militaires sur le terrain? Et comment on se prépare à une éventuelle escalade là, vers une guerre plus totale?
Bien, premièrement, l'objectif du gouvernement et de tout le G7 présentement, c'est de s'assurer qu'il n'y ait pas d'escalade des tensions. Donc, on a eu plusieurs conversations avec, bien entendu, Israël, avec la Jordanie, avec l'Égypte. J'ai parlé également avec mon homologue libanais encore récemment. J'ai parlé avec des pays qui parlent à l'Iran, parce que le Canada ne parle pas à l'Iran et le Canada ne parle certainement pas au Hamas, ni au Hezbollah et ni au Houthi. Donc, dans ces circonstances-là, je travaille avec plusieurs de mes homologues à travers le monde pour s'assurer qu'on puisse contenir la chose. Mais au final, Fanny, le plus important présentement, c'est qu'il nous faut un cessez-le-feu. Il faut que la violence cesse, il faut que les otages soient libérés. C'est la position du Canada. C'est la position du Canada maintenant depuis plusieurs mois. Donc, on va continuer de faire en sorte de travailler diplomatiquement là-dessus. Entre-temps, on sait qu'on a des Canadiens dans la région. Et donc, nous, notre boulot, et mon boulot, c'est de donner un avis qui est clair, net et précis, sur lequel les gens peuvent se fier par rapport à s'ils devraient voyager dans des endroits à travers le monde. Et lorsque vient le Proche-Orient, particulièrement le Liban, notre message est clair. Si vous êtes Canadien et vous voulez vous rendre au Liban, n'y allez pas. Si vous êtes Canadien au Liban, c'est le temps de revenir à la maison. Et entre-temps, oui, on va travailler pour s'assurer qu'on ait beaucoup d'effectifs dans la région, parce que je pense que c'est la bonne chose à faire, mais je pense que Monsieur, Madame, tout le monde doit prendre ses responsabilités, parce qu'au final, c'est leur vie qui peut être en jeu et c'est également la vie de leurs proches qui peut être en jeu. Et moi, c'est ça qui me préoccupe. Moi, je veux juste m'assurer que les gens puissent prendre des bonnes décisions basées sur les faits auxquels moi j'ai accès et que je veux être capable de leur transmettre en toute connaissance de cause.
Et vous avez dit à ma collègue Mia que vous avez que M. Trudeau peut avoir vraiment votre appui.
Oui, tout à fait.
Est-ce que vous avez l'impression qu'au sein des troupes libérales, et là je ne parle pas nécessairement du cabinet, mais vraiment au sein du caucus en général, il y a ce même appui enthousiaste à Justin Trudeau? Et est-ce que vous pensez que ça va tenir pour les prochains mois? Merci.
Bien, j'ai répondu déjà à la question. Le premier ministre a mon appui. Puis moi, mon boulot présentement, c'est d'être la meilleure ministre des Affaires étrangères dans une situation qui est assez difficile qu'on n'a jamais vu depuis la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. Alors, chaque jour, je continue à faire mon boulot et puis je continue à m'assurer de protéger les intérêts des Canadiens. Merci, Fanny. Yes, Tonda.
Hi, Tona McCharles.
Hi,
Tona
good
Star.
to see you.
I think
Good, only woman asking me questions. That's good. Hi.
To Mia's point, though, I think the question wasn't so much around, can you work with any administration? We know your answer to that. I think the question we're trying to draw out from you is what you learned from watching the races south of the border, how the dynamic has been so fluid, if you had any takeaways for your own party and your own future fortunes. And I know you say you're busy working as foreign minister, of course you are, but you're also a minister in Quebec, and you would have concerns around the party's electability in all kinds of places. So talk to us about how you see the way forward in the next few months to ensure your own re-election, your party's re-election.
Well, listen, okay, I'll start with the U.S. When it comes to the U.S., we're following very, very closely. I've told you that. And of course, we're following the dynamics on both sides. The race is very tight, and that's the only comment that I will make on what's happening in the U.S. And
In the
no,
US.
I know, Tonda, I
okay.
know, but let me finish my answer. I've given you the time to ask your question. And meanwhile, I'm engaging with the Republicans, and I'm engaging with the Democrats, with the Biden administration, with the Kamala Harris team. So that's been what I've been doing behind closed doors. Meanwhile, here, of course, we're connected to what people think. Of course, I've been connecting with people in my own writing. I've been door knocking also while being foreign minister in La Salle Verdun. And I'm confident that we can win the by-election in La Salle Verdun. Meanwhile, are people preoccupied about affordability, housing? Of course they are. And we're not disconnected from that. So we need to work on it, and we need to be able to provide the hope that is necessary in these times where a lot of people are feeling lots of anxiety.
Is that the only problem you see that lies ahead, trying to prove to Canadians you can deliver results? Is that the only thing you think is the change thing that's needed, that people are
Well,
looking
listen,
for?
I think when it comes to politics, it's all about trust and whether people trust the work you're doing as a government. And I think the challenges we're facing are real. And we're not the only country facing these challenges, but we have to be better at it to make sure that we're delivering results, period. And so the proof is in the pudding. That's what we'll be working on.
Can I?
Yeah, just
I'll
one
just-
last one.
I'll ask.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask quickly on
It's okay. It's been a long time. Go ahead.
on China.
Yeah.
We announced Canada announced tariffs this morning, and also announced the consultation of potentially more tariffs coming down the road. And yet we also heard from the Prime Minister that this is an important trading relationship, but we still want to have normal trade with China. You talk with Chinese diplomats regularly. How confident are you can strike this balance of bringing in tariffs, bringing in more tariffs potentially, but keep the trading relationship otherwise normal? I mean, how confident are you that you can keep this trading relationship without escalating from tariffs, retaliation? How do you strike that balance?
We've taken a very strategic decision, which is to protect the EV supply chain in Canada and, of course, in North America. And that's why it was so important for us to impose tariffs like we did. I think that when it comes to China, indeed, we have a very important trade relationship, $100 billion per year. And therefore, we need to engage diplomatically with China to ultimately bring predictability to the relationship. And that's the only thing that I can tell you today, because ultimately right now this decision was taken based on what we thought was in the interest of Canadians. Thank you. Good?
Yeah, merci tout le monde.